This book is about SEAL Team 1 during Operation Red Wings in 2005. The author of Lone Survivor is Marcus Luttrell, and he is the lone survivor in the book. He is on a mission they called Operation Red Wings with three other Navy SEALs, Matthew Gene Axelson, aka Axe, Petty Officer Mike Patrick Murphy, aka Murph, and Daniel Richard Healy, aka Danny. Their objective was to take out Ahmad Shah, the leader of an anti-coalition militia group in northern Afghanistan. Three goat herders ran into them when they were taking a nap at the top of the mountain they were camped out at. They tied them up and discussed what they should do. They were unarmed civilians, so it was against rules of engagement to kill them. Their other option was to let them go and abort the mission. They did exactly that, and 2 hours later, they were surrounded by 200 plus Taliban soldiers. Gunfire broke out, and they fought for hours. The mountain range was really bad, and they couldn't contact base for help. Danny was shot really bad and couldn't make it down the mountain, and died in Marcus's arms. They jumped and rolled down the mountain to try to escape the Taliban, and they were breaking bones and coughing up blood from what Marcus was describing, and at the same time being shot at. It was now 3 against 200 men, and Marcus Murph Axe had the downhill disadvantage. Mike Murphy made the most heroic act I've ever heard of. He sacrificed his life and went out into the open on a cliff and made contact through a sat phone to base for help. I can't even imagine how he could have made this decision. And that act was known as Murphy's Ridge. Then they ran off into the woods, and Marcus and Axe didn't hear from him again. Not too long after, 2 Angel helicopters arrived for backup, without Black Hawk protection. This is where Marcus and Axe were going to be saved. Then things got awfully worse. When a rocket launcher from the Taliban shot down one of the Angel helicopters, and Marcus's other 2 friends, Shane Patton and James Sue, along with the rest of the crew, died. The other helicopter had to retreat, so it went back to Marcus and Axe to survive. Marcus and Axe got separated, and Marcus didn't see him again. Then Marcus passed out under a rock for a few days after being blown off a cliff by a grenade. When he woke up, his leg was badly broke, and a man named Mohammed Gulab found Marcus and gave him shelter. Then the Taliban found Marcus in the village he was at, and when Marcus was about to be killed, Gulab saved him. The Marines got the message from Marcus and sent a rescue team right away.
There are 2 quotes from the prologue that really define this book. The first quote is, "I will come out fighting for my country and for my teammates, if necessary, to death." The second quote is, "I will never quit. I will persevere and thrive for adversity. My nation expects me to be physically harder and mentally stronger than my enemies. If knocked down, I will get back up, every time. I will draw on every last remaining ounce of strength to protect my teammates and to accomplish our mission. I am never out the fight." This is part of the Navy SEAL philosophy, and these 4 men lived it. They died protecting one another and served for each other. These men let me know they were not doing what they did for themselves. They were doing it for me and for you and every other U.S. citizen. What I took away from this quote was, these brave men were not selfish. They were selfless in every way possible. Navy SEALs had to face terrorists with sheer hate in their hearts. Page 31, paragraph 3 says, "But never, never turn around, even for a split second. We never give these guys 1 inch of latitude, because he'll pick that rifle up and shoot you at point-blank range, straight in the back." Terrorists out in Afghanistan would do anything to kill a Navy SEAL. They would strap bombs to themselves and even strap bombs to little kids just to kill one. Marcus, Murph, Axe, and Danny had to battle against these men that absolutely hated them, which made them even more tough because they weren't going to stop until each of the 4 men were dead. For my fourth quote, at the bottom of paragraph 1, page 241, Marcus says, "But his eyes were open, and we were still together, and I refused to allow him to die alone." Marcus knew Axe was about to die, but he wasn't going to let him die until he gave every last bit of strength he had. Marcus was going to die for Axe, even if it meant Axe could live just a few minutes longer. What I take away from this is that their brotherhood bond cannot be broken no matter what the cost. My last quote is, "And there was never, not even for a couple of seconds, a lull in the gunfire. And we could not even see half of them or tell where the bullets were coming from. They had every angle on us." This shows me and lets me know what these men were really going through. This wasn't just a practice mission or a little gunfight. This was 4 men alone against an army. They were getting shot at and wounded and trying to kill the enemy they couldn't even see. This is just so incredibly awful what these men had to deal with. What I get out of this is inspiration. It has inspired me to not complain and to always be grateful for what I have, because these brave and courageous men died a painful death protecting this country, and I truly admire these men.